The woman thought her first love still remembered her. She said hello naturally.
그동안 어떻게 지냈어?
근데 누구신지?
However, the man looked completely blank, with a clueless expression. The awkward silence hangs in the air. She never expected that he wouldn't even recognize her. So, So-yeon formally introduces herself. And for Sung-min, the memory of his first love finally clicks back into place. But this isn't a reunion for reminiscing. She is here strictly as a client, offering him a commission to build her a house. As an architect, every professional instinct in Sung-min wants to refuse. He lists off his excuses. He's not experienced enough. He's too junior for a project of this scale. But So-yoon refuses to take no for an answer. If he won't do it, she'll simply talk to his boss.
안 되는 게 어디 있습니까? 오히려 저희가 감사하죠. 이승민, 첫 작품이네. 한번 잘해봐.
But So-yoon is completely unfazed by his excuses. She's made up her mind. He and only he will be the architect. Sung-min, now cornered, tries a different tactic. Passive aggression. He probes, asking why a wealthy woman living in Seoul's richest district would build a house in a remote place like Jeju Island. Your husband must be a very successful man, he says. The line isn't a compliment. It's a jab, laced with years of unspoken history. And with that one cynical remark, the professional warmth between them evaporates. So-yoon's entire demeanor instantly turns cold.
내키지 않으면 하지 마. 내 돈 갖고 사정하면서 일 시킬 생각 없어. 아 진짜 더럽게 재수없이 구네.
But after So-yoon came out, did she realize her car keys were missing? Sung-min came out after her and handed her the keys and phone she had left behind.
집 짓는 이유가 그렇게 중요해? 왜, 내가 사기라도 칠까 봐?
Sung-min gently steers the conversation back to business. He explains, with the patient logic of an architect, that to design a home, he must first understand the life it's meant to hold.
널 잘 알아야 너한테 맞는 집을 잘 질 거 아니야.
아, 그니까 날 잘 알고 싶으시다 이거네? 내가 궁금하시다?
So-yoon takes him to the site of her childhood home, a place filled with ghosts, remnants of a shared past that Sung-min now finds himself forced to confront. Back at the office, his first draft is professional, safe, and misses the point entirely. She rejects it. And it's during one of these tense design meetings that their carefully constructed professional wall is breached by an innocent question from his assistant. So, how did you two meet? The question hangs in the air between them. An unwelcome spotlight on a painful, unfinished story that neither of them is ready to tell.
그렇잖아요. 뭐 겹치는 것도 없고 과도 틀리고. 뭐 소개팅이라도 했나?
아, 그 얘기는 아직 안 했구나. 아, 그게 얘가 하던 나를 막 쫓아다녔었거든요.
Too much emotion and an ocean of doubt. We're on a mountain but it's tied to the ground. I just need one more thing to get me around.
The class is Architecture 101. She is the new transfer student. And from the very first glance, Sung-min is completely captivated by her. Their professor assigns a simple project to map out their neighborhoods. And in a stroke of serendipity, Sung-min realizes she lives in the exact same place as he does. That simple discovery changes everything. Suddenly, the bus ride home becomes an exercise in quiet tension. He steals glances at her, hoping she won't notice. But of course, she does. And when she looks back, he instantly panics, pretending to be fascinated by the view outside the window. The professor's second assignment sends them out to photograph their neighborhood, to find the easily overlooked beauty in their daily lives. While Sung-min is trying to frame a shot of an ancient tree, So-yoon unknowingly walks right into his picture.
이거 이런 뜻이.
오! 개운다.
저 알죠? 건축학개론 수업 듣지 않아요?
So-yoon, of course, is the one to break the ice. Where he is reserved and shy, she is effortlessly bold. In front of an old, abandoned house, that contrast becomes even clearer. While he hesitates on the outside, she simply pushes open the door and walks right in. To his rule-following mind, it's a shocking breach of privacy. But inside, the house is not a ruin. It is a time capsule, filled with an antique charm. And while he cautiously observes, So-yoon takes action. She winds the old pendulum clock, and like a heart, long dormant, it slowly begins to beat again.
이래도 되나? 남의 집인데 함부로.
뭐 어때요? 죽은 거 살려준 건데.
The dusty floor is no deterrent for her. But when So-yoon sits down, Sung-min, ever the gentleman, quietly places his own notebook on the floor for her to sit on. It's a small, thoughtful gesture, one that she doesn't miss. Taking charge of the situation, she makes a logical proposition. He's the local, the architecture expert. She's the newcomer. It only makes sense, she argues, for them to work on the assignment, together. She senses his shy reluctance, and so she gives him one final, simple instruction. Stop speaking so formally, and just relax.
너도 말 놔.
예, 알았어요.
노라니까.
놓을게요.
말 놓으라고.
알았어요. 놓으면 되잖아요.
아, 노라니까?
아, 갑자기 막 놓으라고 하면 제가 못 나요. 놓을게요.
The next assignment takes them to the very edge of the city. A rooftop overlooking the sprawling metropolis below. For Sung-min, a local, it's just the city he's always known. Nothing special. But for So-yoon, a girl from the quiet countryside of Jeju Island, this view is everything. It is the dream she fought her family for. To her, every building, every distant light, is beautiful. As they sit in comfortable silence, she opens her CD player and offers him an earphone, and in that one small gesture, the world around them seems to fall away. There is only the music, flowing gently between them, quietly nurturing a fragile, unspoken connection. For her, the scenery is the city stretching out below. But for Sung-min, the most beautiful scenery in the world is the girl sitting right next to him. This is the quiet, perfect ache of first love. But Sung-min's innocent world with So-yoon is about to be complicated by the presence of a senior named Jae-wook. Jae-wook is everything Sung-min is not. He's rich, handsome, confident. The kind of guy every girl on campus seems to admire. The kind of guy who casually leaves a woman's stockings on his bed. And as the conversation in his dorm room naturally turns to girls, one name comes up. The new transfer student, So-yoon. It's clear that Jae-wook is interested. But unlike Sung-min's shy, earnest affection, there is the distinct, predatory air of a playboy in his pursuit. His friends know it. And one of them is about to say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
싹튼 될 거구나?
야,
왜?
단무지 좀 맡겨 먹어. 돼지 같은 놈아.
Sung-min's feelings for So-yoon exist in a state of quiet, secret admiration. It's a familiar feeling for a shy young man, to be paralyzed by a deep sense of insecurity. And that insecurity rears its head when they pass by his mother's small, humble shop. He quickly pulls So-yoon away before she can see it, ashamed of his family's simple, working-class life. Their sanctuary, instead, becomes the old, abandoned house. So-yoon has been busy here. The dust is gone, the space is clean, and in the window, she's even planted small, hopeful flowers. But amidst this newfound comfort, his insecurity lingers. He tentatively asks if she's ever been to Jae-wook's upscale studio. When she says no, the relief he feels is immense and immediate. But then, So-yoon says something that sends his heart plummeting once again. Speaking of Jae-wook, she casually remarks that there probably isn't a single girl in their department who doesn't like him.
재욱이 형이 왜 그렇게 인기가 많은데?
잘생겼지? 키 크지? 집도 부자지. 게다가 건축가잖아. 난 건축하는 사람 멋있는 것 같아.
나도 건축가인데.
그렇지?
그냥 그렇다고. 그럼 혹시 너도 재욱이 형 좋아해? 혹시 그래서 괴로워서 듣는...
왜 그럼 안 돼? 뭐 그래봤자 재혁이 오빠 나한테 관심도 없고 나 혼자 삽질하는 거지 뭐.
And just like that, Sungmin's fragile hope collapses. The tiny, unspoken connection he thought they were building vanishes in an instant. He hasn't even had the courage to ask her out. But somehow, he already feels the sharp sting of a heartbreak. He does what any heartbroken young man would do. He goes for a drink with his best friend. He tries to be subtle, presenting his problem as a hypothetical story about a friend who likes a girl and doesn't know what to do next. But his best friend, a self-proclaimed expert in these matters, sees right through the transparently clumsy lie.
전혀 모르던 사이였거든? 근데
그게 너지.
아니야. 그냥 내가 아는 애인데 우리 과에...
조까 병신 새끼야. 야, 야부리를 치려면 좀 그럴싸하게 치든가. 어떤 애야, 그 여자애?
고데기나 쳐먹어.
His friend's advice is simple, direct, and comically aggressive. Confess. Be bold. Hesitation means defeat. It's a philosophy completely alien to Sungmin's cautious nature. The next assignment sends them walking along a quiet, forgotten railway track into the countryside. A path as peaceful and unassuming as the quiet bond growing between them. And it's here he learns a secret. Today is So-yoon's birthday, and so they celebrate, just the two of them. As they talk about the future, she shares her own quiet rebellion. Everyone expects her to be a classical pianist, but she dreams of being a radio announcer, of earning her own money and making her own way in the world. On a simple napkin, So-yoon sketches out her dream house.
나 2층 집에서 살 거야. 그리고 창도 많고 마당도 있어. 마당이 더 크나? 그리고 여기가 거실, 여기가 안방. 그리고 내가 애들을 둘 정도 낳을 거거든. 그래서 여기 니들방, 층집. 그리고 개도 키울 거야. 딱 큰 걸로. 그리고 배문도 크고요.
Waiting for the train at the platform, she falls asleep on his shoulder. And in this one quiet, vulnerable moment, he feels a surge of courage he never knew he had. After a long, silent battle with himself, he leans in, a stolen, tender first kiss.
같이 듣던 그 노래마저 이젠 날
화장실이
칼이 됐어. 추억도 죄가 되는 걸까?
너 방 잘 봐.
너로 얼룩졌어. 내가 부족했을까 봐.
너도 저기 멀리 가 있어.
이제 내가 잘못한 건
그렇다고 너무 멀리 가지 말고.
But as he pulls away, he sees her eyelids flutter. A sudden, terrifying thought. Was she awake the whole time? Did she feel it? Or is it a moment that will forever exist only for him? Sung-min is ecstatic. He explains to his best friend that they held hands, they kissed. So it's official now, right? They're a couple. Never mind that the hand-holding was a clumsy accident on the railway.
키스야? 그게 키스야? 승명아, 그게 키스야? 키스라는 거는 말이야. 봐봐. 자, 그 입술이 딱 붙잖아. 이제 걔 혀, 네 혀가 이렇게 자연스럽게 들어온다고. 스르르 들어, 뱀처럼. 알지? 스네이크. 이렇게. 뭐 맞나? 뭐 자연스럽게 이렇게 뭐 되겠지. 막 섞여. 뭐 하나가 되는. 비벼? 막 비벼. 이렇게 존나 비벼. 얘 이리로 갔다 저리로 갔다 앞으로 갔다 뒤로 갔다 존나 비벼. 막 비벼. 환상. 이게 키스야.
Fueled by this newfound confidence, he rushes to the broadcasting club after class to find her. But the scene that greets him is a crushing blow. There's Jae-wook, the rich senior, casually walking out with So-yeon. Worse yet, he's giving her a ride home. Sung-min finds himself relegated to the back seat, a silent, invisible third wheel, forced to feign sleep to hide his heartbreak. And then, from the front, he hears Jae-wook's voice, asking So-yeon a question that cuts him to the core. So, are you two close?
그래, 뭐 그냥 조금.
그럼 둘이 잘해보든가.
아니에요. 말도 안 돼.
야, 쟤 옷 좀 봐라. 게스가 G-U이잖아. 스펠 틀렸어. 아, 연락처.
진짜 그러네. G-U. G-U.
Jae-wook points out that Sung-min's designer t-shirt is a cheap fake. And in a moment of casual cruelty, So-yeon laughs and agrees with him. Under the cover of his feigned sleep, Sung-min silently pulls his jacket a little tighter, a futile attempt to cover the raw, stinging wound of his pride. The moment the car stops at an intersection, he makes his escape, not saying goodbye, just fleeing into the night. From the rearview mirror, So-yoon watches his retreating figure. And maybe, in the silence of that car ride, in the sudden absence of his quiet presence, she finally understands the nature of her own feelings. At home, Sung-min rips off the counterfeit t-shirt and hurls it to the ground, a symbol of everything he feels he is not. It is an act of rage that his mother will never understand.
아, 그거 버려, 그냥.
아니 멀쩡한 옷을 왜 버려? 얘가 아주 그냥 아유 참 돈이 썩어. 오늘도 겨우 2만 원 팔고 들어와 속상해 죽겠구만.
알았어, 알았다고. 진짜 제발 그 소리 좀 그만하면 안 돼? 2만 원 판 게 자랑이야? 진짜.
저 녀석이 근데 야! 아유 저놈들 저놈 잡아. 야 이놈아!
Young Sung-min lets out his frustration, a silent, furious act of self-loathing. He doesn't know it yet, but a part of his world, a gate that once felt so welcoming, will never look the same to him again. Once again, his best friend offers a piece of classic romantic advice. Confess on the day of the year's first snow. It's a perfectly romantic idea. And Sung-min tries. He really does. But the grand speech he rehearsed in his head dies in his throat. And so So-yeon takes the lead. She is the one who suggests they meet on the first day of snow and seals the promise with a simple, breathtaking link of their fingers. They will meet at the old, empty house, no matter what. And just like that, the sky has cleared. Sungmin's confidence is restored. Yet, like any true love story, they face new challenges. On the last day of the semester, So-yoon calls Sungmin, asking where he is. She leaves a message, telling him to call her back. But at that very moment, he is already standing outside her house, practicing his confession over and over, trying to find the perfect words. He waits from afternoon until nightfall, and the sight that finally greets him shatters his world completely. He watches as Jae-wook, the rich senior, brings a drunk So-yoon home, and from his hiding spot, through the darkness, he watches Jae-wook lean in, and it looks, to him, like they are kissing. That single, shattering moment is all it takes to confirm his worst fears. But the scene gets worse. He is then forced to watch as Jae-wook walks her all the way to her door and disappears inside with her. And in Sungmin's mind, consumed by insecurity and heartbreak, there is no longer any doubt. The worst has already happened. He lingers for a moment, then turns and walks away. All of his pent-up heartbreak, all of his feelings of powerlessness, erupt into a pointless, desperate rage. It earns him a beating from the taxi driver, a physical pain, perhaps a welcome distraction from the unbearable agony in his heart. He is left to wander the empty winter streets, completely and utterly alone. His best friend tries to console him with a dose of cynical advice. She's not worth it. He'll find someone better. But Sungmin can't hear any of it. To him, there is no one else. There was only So-yoon.
첫날 오는 날 딱 약속 정해서 만나가지고 2대2 더블 데이트 대학생처럼 눈싸움도 하고 막 눈사람 이렇게 막 만들어가지고 손목 때리기 야 생각만 해도 존나 신난다 그지? 이거야
항상 너는 미안하다고 말했지. 내 마음은 진심이었는데 왜 너에게
힘내
닿지 못할 사랑이란 건 나에겐 먼 얘기야.
The next morning, while taking out the trash, she stumbles upon something unexpected. A gift he had intended to give her. A small, perfect model of the very house she had sketched on the napkin. Her dream made real. Confused, she finds him. But the quiet, shy young man she once knew is gone. In his place is someone cold, distant, and full of a quiet, unexplained anger. He doesn't offer an explanation. He only hands her back the one thing she ever gave him.
나 집에 CD가 없어. 그래서 들을 수가 없어. 그리고 이제 나한테 연락하지 마.
왜?
그냥.
그게 무슨 소리야?
이제 좀 꺼져줄래?
On the day of the first snow, he never showed up. So-yoon waits alone at their empty house, from the afternoon, until night finally falls. Before she leaves, she places the CD player and the disc inside the house, a final unanswered message. And just like that, without a single word of goodbye, they were over. "15 years pass. So-yoon did, in fact, marry a rich man. But the happy life she envisioned never materialized. A painful divorce follows. With her father now gravely ill, she decides to return home to Jeju and rebuild the old house to care for him. And so, she seeks out the one architect she knows. The one man she hasn't seen in a decade and a half. But here is the final, heartbreaking truth of their story. Sung-min didn't fail to recognize her in his office. He recognized her the very instant he saw her back. The cold, professional stranger he pretended to be was a lie. A deliberate, calculated act of revenge for a heartbreak that, even after 15 years, he has never forgotten.
애기는 몇 명인데?
아직?
왜?
그냥 어쩌다 보니까.
His question about her children isn't just a question. It's a memory. A quiet reference to a conversation they had 15 years ago, a dream she once shared. So-yoon, of course, is completely oblivious to his passive-aggressive game. To her, this is a chance, a new beginning. For their next meeting, she puts on makeup with extra care. She even buys him a tie, an expensive gift. She arrives expecting an intimate reunion, only to find that Sung-min has brought his young assistant, Eun-chae, along with him. Through their conversation, she learns two devastating pieces of information in quick succession. First, that Sung-min isn't single. He has a girlfriend. And second, that girlfriend is Eun-chae, the very woman sitting right across from her. They are engaged to be married, and are planning to move to the United States together.
뭐야, 둘이 그런 사이였어? 난 몰랐네. 야, 너 뭐야, 이렇게 이쁜 여자친구를 두고. 웅큼한 놈.
회사에서도 비밀이에요. 아무도 몰라요. 그래도 언니는 아셔야 될 것 같아서요.
누구야? 내가 아는 애야?
아니야.
누군데? 말해봐, 궁금하잖아.
그래, 말해봐. 쌍년이었다며.
It's clear Eun-chae senses the unspoken history between them, and her questions are a calculated and effective way to stir the pot. The memory of their promise to meet on the first snow is brought up, a promise So-yoon remembers vividly. But Sung-min, coldly, pretends to have forgotten.
네가 그랬어.
안 그랬다니까.
네가 그랬었다고.
안 그랬다고.
너 분명히 첫눈 오는 날 만나자고 나한테 그랬었다고.
그럴 리가 없어. 내가 유치한 말을 했을 리가 없다.
짜증나 진짜. 녹음을 해놨어야 되는데 녹음.
Later, in a quiet moment, a flash of the old Sung-min reappears. Just as he did 15 years ago, he offers his notebook for her to sit on, a small, nostalgic echo of his past kindness. And it's this gesture that gives So-yoon an opening, a chance to finally ask the question that has been lingering in the air, the question of the damned girl he once drunkenly cursed. Was that me?
네 첫사랑, 그 쌍년이 나냐고.
아니야, 너 아니야. 야, 너랑 나랑 뭐가 있었다고.
그치, 나 아니지? 근데 왜 그게 나갔지? 그 쌍년이? 참 이상하네.
At night, during a phone call with his mother, Sung-min sounded so agitated that even an outsider like So-yoon couldn't bear to listen. After going to the United States with his wife, his mother would be left all alone. How cruel, she thought.
그럼 내가 어떻게 할까? 그냥 여기서 평생 엄마랑 같이 살까? 같이 늙어 죽을까?
아니, 난 그냥 걱정돼서.
네가 그런 걱정을 왜 해?
적적하지 않은 시기에 자꾸 찾아뵙고 그러면 되잖아.
내가 어디 놀러 가는 걸로 보이니?
그래, 알았어. 알았다고.
네가 뭐라는데? 돈 많고 시간 많고 혼자 사니까 그러니까 속 편한 소리 아니야.
내가 어떻게 알았어?
야야 그게 아니고
아이, 내가 쪽팔려서 그래. 쪽팔려서.
The truth is, Sung-min had suspected this for a while. In all their conversations about the house, about the future, a key figure was always missing. She had never once mentioned a husband. And more telling still, the very design of the house she requested, the layout, the feeling, the purpose, was designed for one occupant. It was the blueprint of a life lived alone.
나 연락 치사하지? 진짜 쌍년이지? 그래도 어쩔 수 없다. 그게 세상의 이치니까. 사는 게 다 그렇지 뭐. 애새끼.
나
As the house takes shape, a quiet comfort settles in between them. The old walls of bitterness and professional distance are slowly being torn down. One afternoon, Sung-min suggests they get seaweed soup, a small, simple gesture that proves, even after 15 years, he has never forgotten her birthday. Moved, So-yeon asks for a birthday present. A final, crucial change to the design. A piano room. She had dreamt of escaping the piano. But now, after the long, hard lessons of adulthood, she understands that her real dream is a return to simplicity. A new start. In her old home, caring for her ailing father. But this new dream collides with Sung-min's new life. So-yoon's request means that he needs an extra month to complete the work. And for his fiancée, Eun-chae, a 1-month delay is unacceptable, because next month is their wedding.
얘기했잖아. 서연이가 완전히 내려와서.
그거 그 여자 사정이지.
내가 끝낼게. 그렇게 하게 해줘.
For Sung-min, this is more than just a job. It is the promise he failed to keep 15 years ago, a debt he is now determined to repay. He throws himself into the work, eating and sleeping on the construction site, a race against his own approaching future. So-yoon watches his tireless effort and is deeply moved. Soon, the house is finished. She walks barefoot across the fresh lawn towards the open sea and finds him there, resting. She lies down next to him. This man she once loved, the boy she lost. And in the quiet warmth of the afternoon, she leans in, a silent, tender invitation, an echo of the kiss he once stole from her on a train platform long ago. But this time, she is the one who hesitates. The moment passes, a chance for recklessness, lost to the caution of adulthood. The house is complete. It is the day they should be celebrating. But there is only a quiet, profound sadness between them. The unspoken understanding that this goodbye, this time, is likely forever. And so, in their final moments together, they each say a single, quiet sentence. Words they have both held in their hearts, unsaid, for 15 years.
말해봐. 너 그때 왜 나한테 잘해줬었어?
널 좋아했었으니까.
고백이야? 오래도 걸렸네.
알고 있었어?
내가 바보냐? 그걸 몰랐을까? 너 나한테 키스도 했었잖아. 나 자고 있을 때. 그거 내 첫 키스였는데.
The comfortable silence is gone, replaced by a tense, unspoken longing. Sung-min knows he has to leave, right now, before he does something he'll regret. As a final, polite gesture, he offers to help clear some old boxes. And inside one of them, he finds it. A ghost from their shared past. The small, perfect model of the house he had built for her, 15 years ago. A confession he thought had been thrown away with the trash. And at the sight of it, his carefully constructed composure finally shatters. All of his restrained emotions, all his carefully buried questions, come rushing to the surface in a single desperate plea. Why me? Out of all the architects in the world, why did you have to find me? So-yoon's answer is simple, honest. She says she was just curious.
왜 날 찾아온 거야? 집 지어줄 사람이 그렇게 없었어. 이제 와서 굳이 왜 나한테? 나한테 뭐 때문에 왜? 어?
궁금해서.
뭐?
너 어떻게 사는지, 지금은 어떤지 궁금했어.
그게 이유야? 그냥 궁금해서 그게 다야? 그래서 이 땅을 지금까지 갖고 있는 거야?
그래. 그래서 갖고 있었어. 내가 이거 갖고 있으면 안 돼? 나는 네가 내 첫사랑이었으니까.
The unspoken truth, finally laid bare. Even after all this time, after all this heartbreak, they are still in love with each other. He kisses her. A desperate, cathartic kiss. 15 years too late. But that was all it could ever be. It wasn't that they didn't want to be together anymore, but it seemed that it was too late for them to be together now. The night before leaving for America, Sung-min's heart was filled with doubt, and he tried to tell his mother about it.
나 미국 가지 말까?
아, 그게 무슨 뚱딴지 같은 소리야?
나가면 엄마 혼잔데 걱정도 되고.
아, 시끄러. 비싼 밥 먹고 얘가 쓸데없는 소리는.
Beneath his worry for his mother is a deep, suffocating guilt. Because the humble shop he was once so ashamed of, she sold it, all of it, to give him the future she never had. And then, a final crushing detail. The shirt she is wearing, faded and worn. It is the same cheap, counterfeit t-shirt he threw on the floor in a fit of arrogant, youthful shame 15 years ago. For her, it was never a symbol of shame, but simply a treasured memory of her son. And for him, it is the most painful testament in the world to a selfless love he feels he will never deserve. Later that night, Sung-min stands by the gate, the same gate he kicked in a fit of youthful rage 15 years ago. He tries to bend the twisted metal back into shape, but it's a futile gesture. Some things are just too broken to be fixed. The rust, the dent, are a permanent scar, a reminder of a past that can't be rewritten. In the end, he gets married, and moves to America. And she stays on her island, in her new, unfinished home, rediscovering a part of herself she thought she'd lost. And then one day, a package arrives from halfway across the world. Inside is the CD player she had left for him in the empty house. Her final, unanswered message. Because the heartbreaking truth is he did go to their meeting place on that snowy night 15 years ago. But he was too hurt, too ashamed, and too afraid to go inside. He found the CD player she left behind, a token of a promise he now believed himself unworthy of. He held on to it for 15 long years. Now, by returning her music with her own CD player, he is finally sending her a message, 15 years delayed. I was there. I couldn't face you, and I'm sorry. And as the melody plays, a sound from a different lifetime, she finally hears the first and last love song he ever gave her. It's a bittersweet echo of a past that is now truly gone. Their time has passed, the world has changed, and that fragile, innocent first love has found its final, quiet resting place. There is a unique kind of heartbreak reserved for a love that wasn't lost, but simply misplaced. We are haunted, not by dramatic endings, but by the quiet what-ifs born from a single, youthful misunderstanding. In the end, they were just two people, caught in a tangle of shyness and insecurity, a knot that perhaps only 15 years of life could begin to untangle. And what of the house he finally built for her? It is more than just a building. It is the final, tangible proof of their story. He built it not for the woman she became, but in memory of the girl she once was. And she will live in it, not with the husband she dreamt of then, but as the woman she is now. Because that is the strange, secret power of a first love. It is not meant to be our forever home. It is simply the architect. The one that draws the flawed, beautiful blueprint of what we learn to look for ever after. And in that sense, it never truly leaves us. And maybe it's not supposed to. Tell the story with heart. Tell the story with sincerity. I'm Pixielow, journeying with you so we both may grow. See you in the next video.